gotta accept
Rob Spaghetti.
Alright guys, I am having the worst day of my life. Not only do I get pulled over and get 3 tickets, we'll get back to that in like a minute. My rotor, my rear rotor on the Z has just cracked in the middle of traffic, and my anxiety sparked so high. I finally made it back to the house. I had to stop for a minute, but the rotor cracked, and I'm gonna show you guys. Hold on. Do you guys see that? Look where it cracked. Cheap rotors. To be honest, this is definitely my fault. I should have definitely already seen that the rotors were bad. I mean, I knew the rotors and brake pads were bad, but I didn't check to see how much thread I had on them left. So now I'm gonna have to go get new rotors because I don't have a car to drive since the FRS is still in the garage and she's not on right now. So, yeah. I'm not used to being on this side of the car. It's definitely really weird, but we're heading to Cars and Coffee and it's way too early for me. I am. This is what I'm doing. Guys, so I've been debating if I should do these fins on the FRS. I'm still very indecisive, but what do you guys think about these?
He's like, you're up. I'm like, I am up. He's like, you are not up. I'm like, you're right.
For the vlog! Yeah! I got so confused when they put it on the ad. I thought they said Dunkin' Donuts, and then Cody was like, oh, Duck Donuts. I'm like, oh, cool. Hi, quick question. Are the ducks, like, can I grab one? Or they're for sale? How much are the ducks?
$197.
I will buy 1 duck. They were selling ducks, so I went ahead and I got one. I'm disappointed that this one doesn't have enough charms, like that one has charms, but this one has bacon in it. You don't really see that many hatches like this on a 350, especially in the East Coast. What do you guys think about it? I think I like it.
Bottomed out. It did.
Oh, yeah.
It did. It definitely did.
All 3 of them went to go grab these cones and they failed at putting this one in the middle because there's a giant hole in here with water. But all the cars were coming through here and literally 3-wheeling to get into this side of the parking lot. So it was pretty nice of them for doing that. You got it started! He got it started. We've been at this for a minute trying to get the NSX to work because, as you guys now know, my 350Z, one of the rotors, you know, cracked and I don't have a car to drive because the FRS is also in the garage. So I hit up Rob and he offered to let me borrow the NSX, but we've been here for literally an hour trying to figure this out and now it wants to start. Regardless, I wouldn't want to drive this car because who knows if it's going to start right back up even if it's in my possession. So let me show you. Who knows if we'll even start
Well, that's the problem. I'm not going to let you take it even though I started it. I'm not even going to bring it home myself tonight. Normally I would drive this and allow it to see these cables are very hot. And hot cables aren't good.
Like I told you guys, I wouldn't even want to drive it because who knows if it's even going to start. Wow, let's see. Oh, it's really tight in here. I don't even fit. You know, when things like this happen, this just means I wasn't meant to drive this car today. And maybe it's because I'm not ready to drive a different type of manual yet until I master the 350. So I'm gonna take this as a sign from the universe that I wasn't meant to drive this car today, and I'm gonna live with that. Question for you though.
What's that?
And maybe you can answer this for my viewers. Why do they call you Rob Spaghetti?
So there is this guy, and I don't even know if he's still on the internet, but he was he had a channel called Imports versus Domestics, and when we went to the Ford GT applications a while ago, I'm like, well look, I don't really have the money to buy a Ford GT, but I feel like I'm qualified. I've got the #1 viewed Ford GT video on the internet, and like I'd be a perfect candidate to get one of these. And like car driver, Motor Trend are like top 5 people that should be getting a Ford GT. I was like #2 on the list.
Oh, wow.
And fast forward, this guy made a parody video of like, well, I got this like Ford Bronco over here and that thing. So he made this parody and say, I don't know, some of these other guys like this Rob Spaghetti or whatever his name is. And so some people come over like, Rob Spaghetti, and I tried to like ignore it. But there's something called the Streisand effect. It's from Barbara Streisand. That if you try to make something go away, it just pours on. So then it was spaghetti. And I don't really care about the spaghetti thing. I like pasta. But it didn't make sense. It was just, it's Feretti sounds like spaghetti. I've had the same last name for 39 years. Never had that before. Like not even in like middle school. Like nothing. So it was pretty stupid because it didn't really make any sense. But people sort of ran with it and I tried to like just brush it under the rug, and it's just, and then I was like, I am Rob Spaghetti. So
you gotta accept it. When you're doing this, you look really Italian doing that.
Yeah.
I like Lamborghinis, but I'm more of a McLaren person, so I like coming here and seeing the exotics because I know one day I'll own one. Maybe not now or anytime soon, but one day. I'm kind of bummed out that I can't drive the NSX, but honestly, like I told you guys earlier, I think it's just the world telling me that I'm not ready to drive another manual car just yet. I still am trying to get very comfortable with the 350Z, and so far I've been doing a really good job at driving that car, even though I got 3 tickets with it. Completely not my fault though. I forgot to tell you guys the story about that, so I'm gonna rest you guys on these rotors really quickly. So I'm going down this little ramp and there's an Infiniti in front of me. You know, I downshift, I'm going slow. It's about, I don't know what time it was, but there was nobody on the road. And as I'm driving behind him, he's doing 15, now on a 45-mile-per-hour road. So I'm like, maybe he thinks that I'm trying to challenge him because when I downshifted, you know, the 350 is kind of loud. So I think that he thought that I was trying to mess with him, but I wasn't. Honestly, I wasn't, but I can see how that kind of looked like coming from his side of the car. Regardless, he's doing like 15, he's slowing down even more, and he's doing 10. At this point, I go over because it's a 2-lane, and I go in front. Well, not in front, I go into the other lane, and then I go away. He ends up driving super fast to get in front of me, and he brake checks me. He does it one more time, and he brake checks me again. So at this point, it's becoming a 1-lane. I go around him, go off, and I'm about my business. He slowed down at this point. So I was like, great, he's gonna leave me alone. No, he didn't leave me alone. He ended up cutting through the yellow line to come in front of me. He sped all the way off. I'm thinking he's leaving. He stomps on the brakes, and I almost crash into him. Now, there is nobody on this road. I end up doing the same thing he did to me. I ended up going out onto the left and cutting the yellow line. But I didn't brake check him. I was just trying to leave. I'm 5 minutes away from my house. And then next thing you know, I get pulled over. Of course, the cop is behind the Infiniti, but he skips the Infiniti and comes and pulls me over. I know what that looks like. I am the sports car, it's loud, and he probably thought I was messing with the Infiniti, but I tried to explain my story to the cop and he just didn't want to hear it. He said that that's not what he saw, and now I have to go to court on the 26th and plead my case. But if you guys were wondering, the 3 tickets were careless driving, which was the main one, no front plate, and no inspection sticker, because I still have the Pennsylvania inspection sticker on the 350, which I do have to take. I have to take the car to get inspected. But that's what happened, and I was super bummed out because I thought the cop was going to do something about it. I thought he was going to pull the other guy over, but I tried to explain it to him and he just wouldn't listen to me. I think he handled it appropriately. He did his job. He asked me if I was drinking. He asked me if this was my car, if I had anything illegal, which is protocol for them. But I was just kind of scared because it's just me by myself, and he wasn't really listening to what I was trying to tell him. And most of the time they never do, so whatever. Okay, so I'm completely stuck without a car to drive. This is not great, but the good news is that I've been working from home lately, so I have time to kill. I'm gonna have to go get some rotors and some brake pads. I'm not too sure where I'll get them from, but I did message my sponsor that I had for the FRS and the Evo. And yeah, hopefully they message me back so we can get this project started. Cody had to come get me because the NSX wasn't working. So thank you for driving about an hour to come get me.
The good old Ram saves.
And it is actually raining right now, guys. There's a lot of things that we can learn from today. One, don't challenge other people on the road when there's nobody on the road, because if you have a loud car, some people might get annoyed at you. Two is to check if your rotors and brake pads are good, especially when you buy a car that's been beaten the way the 350Z has been. You know, then you avoid having a cracked rotor in the middle of the highway, which is what happened to me. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. I'm super happy to have met up with Rob. Thank you again for trying to at least give me the NSX. He was super nice about that, and he really wanted me to have it for the time being until I fix the rotors, because I don't have another car to drive. But I really do appreciate it. And again, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comments down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.